Hey guys, Grandpa John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. All right, let's talk about it. So we have Iben Fahd Sanctum. Almost everyone does this little trail here. Obviously, this can change every single day, but we almost always do this with our keys. I want to talk about, is it worth your time? What kind of stats should you see? Also, I want to talk about where I'm at on my Iben Fahd Sanctum, because I've done this almost daily, and I want to see where you guys are at on yours to see if you've been prioritizing it or if you've been missing out on some added bonuses out there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about some of the basics here, right? So right now you can see I've cleared Iben Fahd Sanctum. I've made it to the last section where you have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chests, right? Now, I no longer spend any money on Diablo Immortal. I have no drive to. I have no reason, I have no motivation, no incentivization to spend on this game anymore. I'm done. However, I do still have quite a bit of keys. So if we look at our keys here, you can see here that I'm over 200 keys. I'm like, what is that, 232 or something like that, right? So we're getting up there key-wise. We get, I think is it 277 or 377 unlocks all the chests. But basically, you get the free one, right? So every day you should be coming in, getting your free chest. And then right here, you can spend one key, and actually it goes up incrementally. 2 keys. So at that point you have free 1, 3, and then come over here. That was 4, and there we go, 8 keys, right? So we're slowly whittling away our keys. However, you can get all these keys back every single day. Eventually you will get up to the point where you can do all of them in one afternoon. Or it takes a little bit of time, but it does happen. Now, why am I bringing this up while we're talking about this? And that's because, once again, is it worthwhile for me to go spend all these keys, or should I save them? Really, it doesn't matter. Saving them is going to work out better for me because I'm going to get the bonus chest from completing and opening every single one of them. Even though that bonus chest is not very much, it equates to about a 2% increase in the amount total that you get. But the point that I do want to talk about that I feel like is really important when we talk about these is the simple fact that the Legacy of Haradrim, this is something, if you have not already gotten every single one of your vessels, you can go actually, DiabloPro.gg has a guide that I wrote that has every Legacy of Haradrim stone here, all of these broken down on how you can get them, what's required, so on and so forth. So you check that out if you want to. We're not really updating that anymore because it doesn't seem like people really need that type of resource anymore. But if you would like to have a better breakdown of Legacy of Haradrim, you can do that. Or I have an old YouTube video where I really talk about how to get every single one of these as well, okay? So a couple different ways to get them. But something I want to point out here is what stats are you guys going for in your Legacy of Haradrim, right? Is it worth your time to go for these? Like, is the passive stat that worth it, right? Because what happens is you have your standard stats, right? You have your stats right here. You can see your strength, your fortitude, intelligence, you have your armor, you have everything else, right? Like your armor piercing, potency, resistance, all this can be had in the Haradrim. On top of that, you can also get vitality and strength, I think, or int. But I think I believe. We'll look at it in just a second. But the point that I'm getting at is this armor. I finally made it above my armor for Hell 6. I need to move into Hell 7, at which point I'm going to be below. However, something that helped me catch up to this minimum was I invested in my armor when we look at the Haradrim. So let's go look at which ones are you investing in. So right now we have the Caldassin's Compassion, right? This takes the sapphires here. So I have this at 13. This gives me armor penetration and armor. Why is this important? Armor penetration is essentially crit damage, and armor, obviously, like we just showed, is damage mitigation. So not only does armor, if you're below the requirement for the level, not only does that make you take more damage, right? Because you take more critical damage if your armor is below the threshold. But on top of that, armor itself does mitigate damage. Like, armor is a twofold. It has two purposes, unlike armor penetration, which really only has one focus, and that is crit damage, right? So armor is going to be something that's very impactful. Now, if we go around the table here, is there anything else that gives us armor? In this case, we have this one right here, which is used barrels, right? And it's just straight up armor. Notice that I'm at 11 here, and I'm at 13 here. basically what I've been prioritizing is doing these 2 of these because armor seems to be my biggest headache moving forward. And what I'd like to be able to do is get rid of some of these aquamarines here, this 56, and be able to actually put in my crit damage ones, right? Like that would be what armor penetration ones, which is what I really would like to do, but I can't justify it until I make up for this 102 armor points, right? But does that make sense on your build? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe coming into the Harajam and picking some of these doesn't make sense for you. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And that's fine. That's not a big deal. No reason to fret on it. But notice that the bonuses that I'm getting here on the left-hand side, right? Like right above my head, you'll see my resistance, I'm at plus 126. My armor penetration, I'm getting 387, basically crit damage right from this. Damage-wise, I'm 252. Life, a little bit of a bump. This life is kind of meh. Armor is great, 315 armor, and the reason why I say that is because when we correlate to, say, gems, right, Aquamarines at 5, I think a lot of people are probably at 5, a couple of 6s here and there, right? You're still more than 2 of these together. You're still more than 4 of these. Like, if this is 1, 2, 3, we would say that's how many it would take of doubles to make up for those points, right? So that's a big difference. So these passive stats are really impactful on your account and on your overall points to go into your combat rating, right? Because combat rating is so impactful once you hit a threshold, right? Once you hit the threshold for the hell tier you're on, the summon or your dungeon you're on, there is I shouldn't say a plateau, but if you guys are used to the bell curve lining up there, there's going to be the mean gets established, right? Once you hit a certain level in the combat rating. So what I would definitely encourage everyone is if you're going to go ahead and do these, make sure you do this every day. It's something simple. You get a bounty kickback, you get something from the codex for it, right? So you get rewards back, but definitely focus and prioritize it on, and that would be very advantageous to look to see what makes most sense for you. Like for example, straight up damage, I always seem to want to prioritize. So you can see here that it's going to take 900 of these garnets to get me up to that next little chunk. And it's not like this is a huge jump, right? Next level is plus 176, 8 more. That's a lot of them. But what else can I use these garnets for? Oh, I could use it for, I guess, armor penetration, right? Armor pen would be something. Is there another one that'd be a really good one? Potency, unfortunately, I don't put any debuffs other than from my helm, so I don't need that one. So really the only two that matter are these 2. And it's a toss-up between do you want to go crit damage or do you want to go straight up damage? Which one scales? So keep in mind your damage scales with your crit damage, your armor penetration is crit damage. This has to be a critical attack, and this scales off of your damage. So the higher your damage, the more crit damage you're going to have. Also, the higher your damage overall in general, the more damage you're going to do, because you're not always guaranteed to crit. So you're not always guaranteed to get this added bonus on your stats. So this makes damage more powerful, right? Same thing with armor. Armor is more powerful than armor penetration. Same deal, because we just talked about. And then life is actually the best one to go for if you're going to spend barrels, right? But there's always options. The point of this video and point of talking about this is I want you guys to be aware of the other options out there and how to get passive stats that increase your performance. Now, I wish there was a tracker. I wish it told you like how many days you've logged in. Obviously, we can see we're on season 9 here. I've probably missed a total of, I would say maybe 20 days of gameplay since the game launched. I think at most maybe 20 days of gameplay. And even then, I'm getting I'm getting close to getting back to it. I'm just under 50 levels behind. And I'm going to farm for another probably an hour. So I'll probably get down to like 40 levels behind. But where is everyone else at when it comes to actually getting these upgraded? Like notice a couple of different things. So I've got one that's 21. And I've got one that's 23 here. Nortaraj Knowledge. I've spent every single one of these barrels basically on this, I think. I don't think I've spent any barrels anywhere else. Oh no, I did. Sorry, Cathan's Piety. But notice we're at 23 there. Where else are we at? 21 on Iben Fahd's Tenacity and 21 on Talrash's. That's the next 2. And then the 4th one is No First Precision with the armor penetration. These have been huge for my account as far as not having to worry about passive stats. I definitely would recommend that you prioritize getting this and doing this every day and saving your keys. Go ahead and save your keys. I know it's going to be mixed feelings. Some people will be like, yeah, other people will be like, no, don't do that. It doesn't make any sense to do this. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes it does make more sense, more advantageous to go ahead and save these all up to get that extra bonus for them. Or if you use them every single day, that just allows you to progress your account better and faster, right? It's not actually worth it at the end of the day. But if you're doing your dailies, then you recover, you don't actually lose keys, you gain keys, and it is what it is. It's all kind of comes out in the wash. But the big thing is you definitely want to make sure you're prioritizing it every single day. And I think it is nice that they do put in a codex event for it, because Legacy of Harajim is very impactful. Like, if you don't have this done like every single day, you're missing out. On top of that, like, I mean, look at the, like, it tells you the rewards you get, right? And it's a free 10 every day. It's an easy fight. Like, it is what it is. And then also you want to make sure you're going to and buying the keys every day from the Hills Trader. If you're not doing so, you're really going to be shortchanging yourself on your Iben Fahds. I do know it's not like the most glamorous content out there. Like, it's kind of boring to run it every single day. I get that. However, the benefits from it are just too great to pass up. Like, the permanent benefits are just too great. And every day, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, you get these back. Obviously, you can save up a crap load of keys. It's pretty easy to do. But that's going to make a difference in me getting passive stats and passive increases that will never go away no matter what gear I equip, which makes a massive difference in the game and progressing. That's going to do it for this video. I don't want to keep it too awful long, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you a little bit with understanding if Iben Fahd Sanctum is actually worth it for you, or if it's not worth it for you. In my personal opinion, I don't think anyone can argue that it's not worth your time to do. I think everyone will argue that, yes, you should be doing this. If you're not doing this, you're missing out on a lot of free resources and a scarcity of Diablo Immortal. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.